Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're stepping right into the high-stakes rooms of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. We're going to unpack the truly baffling testimony of Gauteng Traffic Police Chief Inspector Samuel Mashaba. So he took the stand to explain his role in this massive headline-grabbing drug bust at Aeroton. We're talking about roughly 700 kilograms of cocaine here. But as the Commission's evidence leaders started to peel back the layers of his story, what initially looked like a triumphant victory for law enforcement quickly morphed into this incredibly complex web. We're talking alleged protocol breaches, shadowed financial ties, and some really intense institutional conflict.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap through the official dockets today. We'll start with the Aeroton drug bust itself, move on to deviations from official protocols, dig into the WhatsApp revelations, look at the compromised professional relationship, and finally wrap up with the institutional impact and aftermath.
Section 1. The Aeroton drug bust. Let's take a look at the official narrative of what actually went down during that July 2021 operation. To really understand where the discrepancies pop up, we have to anchor ourselves chronologically. This timeline maps out the absolutely crucial 24-hour window. So according to Chief Mashaba, at 19:30 on the 8th of July, he gets a tip-off about a truck traveling all the way from Durban to Johannesburg. A few hours later, at 22:25, a location pin is dropped to him via telegram. Just past midnight, at 00:25 on the 9th, Mashaba accesses this location, and by that morning, he initiates a massive raid at the Yellow Jersey Logistics Depot in Aeroton. Now, Chief Mashaba claimed under oath that when he first got this tip-off, the intelligence was completely unconfirmed. If you look right here at his sworn affidavit, he explicitly states that he asked his informant, a civilian named Tamelo Namaiku, to first confirm if the information was positive before he could actually act on it.
But here is exactly where that official narrative starts to crack. What you're seeing now is the affidavit of that very informant, Tamelo Namaiku, and it completely contradicts the Chief Inspector's sworn statement. Nuku's statement reveals that the information was actually already confirmed, specific, and totally actionable by the evening of the 8th. On top of that, Nuku states that Chief Mashaba wasn't running some carefully planned sting operation. Actually, bringing Mashaba in was a literal last-minute request simply because the high-ranking SAPS official who was originally supposed to run the op was unavailable.
Section 2. Deviations from official protocols. We are now looking at a situation of severe jurisdictional overreach. We really have to visually contrast the jurisdictional limits here to understand the gravity of this. You see, Chief Mashaba is a traffic officer. He's governed primarily by the Road Traffic Act. But conducting a massive raid on private property, like the Yellow Jersey Logistics Warehouse, to seize narcotics, that requires powers typically exercised by the South African Police Service, or SAPS, under the Criminal Procedure Act. As a traffic chief, Mashaba had absolutely no legal mandate to independently investigate a private warehouse without involving the proper SAPS channels right from the start. And this jurisdictional overreach was a major focal point. Look at this transcript excerpt. You can see Senior Counsel Advocate Kamalo heavily pressing Chief Mashaba on this exact issue. He totally corners Mashaba on his lack of legal authority under the Road Traffic Act to conduct search and seizure operations at a private facility without SAPS present.
Under this really intense questioning, Chief Mashaba makes a stunning admission. He plainly states, "I was cautioned on this one, hence I did not report directly to SAPS." The Commission correctly pointed out how wild this is. You have a senior law enforcement officer essentially choosing to bow to the wishes of a civilian informant, explicitly evading standard SAPS reporting prescripts for a massive narcotics operation.
Well, this evasion strategy culminated in a completely chaotic climax at the actual crime scene. When SAPS officials finally did arrive to properly take over the jurisdiction of the drug bust, Chief Mashaba, who was operating completely outside his lane at this point, became actively disruptive. The evidence shows he aggressively argued with a retired SAPS captain on the scene, and get this, he even attempted to interfere with an arrest that had been directly ordered by a SAPS general, General Khan. Mashaba was fiercely guarding an operation that he technically had zero authority to run in the first place.
Section 3. The WhatsApp revelations. Let's follow the digital paper trail. 50,000 South African Rand. This figure punctuates a huge turning point in the testimony. Under cross-examination, Chief Mashaba admitted to receiving financial boosts of up to 50,000 Rand from his civilian informant Tamelo Namaiku. Let's be clear, this was not your standard professional dynamic, this was a highly compromised financial relationship.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the direct evidence of these transactions. It is staggering. In this WhatsApp exchange, Mashaba texts Nunku, "Thank you very Tumza. It is reflected. Lifesaver, my brother." The commission revealed that Mashaba was using his own personal, now closed bank account to receive these funds from Nunku. But it gets even deeper. Mashaba wasn't just pocketing the cash. He admitted he was often acting as a conduit to pay off other individuals on Nunku's behalf.
Section 4. A compromised professional relationship. This is where the lines between officer and informant become entirely blurred.
As Advocate Kumalo summarized, this wasn't just some isolated loan between friends. Mashaba was actively utilizing his position in law enforcement to assist in coup. The testimony revealed that Mashaba acted as an intermediary, literally organizing and facilitating payments to other SAPS officers stationed at OR Tambo International Airport on behalf of Nku. Basically, Mashaba was helping to operate an off-the-books network of paid police officers for a civilian businessman.
This realization led to one of the most powerful moments of the entire inquiry. Advocate Kumalo completely dismantled Mashaba's defense with a single damning conclusion. He is not an informer to you, he is your brother. The commission successfully proved that this relationship was absolutely not about a civic-minded citizen reporting a crime. It was a highly compromised, mutually beneficial financial partnership, all operating under the guise of law enforcement.
Section 5. Institutional Impact and Aftermath. Let's look at the fallout and the consequences of all this.
Let's objectively summarize what the commission found. Mashaba acted way outside his legal jurisdiction. He deliberately evaded SAP's oversight. He subverted established reporting prescripts, and he participated in an off-the-books financial network. Because of these staggering revelations, the consequences didn't just end at the inquiry itself. It resulted in Mashaba's immediate precautionary suspension by the Gauteng Premier's office for severe potential breaches of the Public Service Code of Conduct.
And this brilliantly illustrates the intent to hide these activities. The Commission's digital analysts show that for the entirety of their financial dealings, Mashaba and Cora just used standard WhatsApp. But right before the Aeroton drug bust, they abruptly switched over to Telegram, an app that's well known for its encryption and privacy features. When he was pressed on this, Chief Mashaba could not provide a logical explanation for the sudden switch, which heavily implies a deliberate intent to evade institutional oversight during this specific operation.
So, what does this all mean? The crucial point we are left with is this. A 700-kilogram drug bust looks fantastic on a press release, for sure. But the Madlanga Commission peeled back the curtain to reveal a staggering breakdown of protocol and integrity behind the scenes. It leaves us with a really provocative and necessary question. When those sworn to uphold the law are running off-the-books operations in the shadows, funded by the very informants they are supposed to be managing, who is policing the police? It's a chilling thought, honestly, and one that makes diving into these commission transcripts so absolutely essential. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the narrative.